YouTubers. Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. I got a pretty cool article here I picked up today from the Daily Caller News Foundation. And I'm going to read it to you, and it's about Donald Trump. And I've been following Donald Trump very closely, and his inauguration is this Friday. Today is Tuesday, and a few more days down the road. I think today's the 16th or 17th. Really close to his inauguration. I'm actually very excited to see this because I like to see what's going to happen. You know, apparently they're still blaming him for the Russian hack. They're still blaming him for so many things, his administration, for things he never... I don't think he... I'm not even going to go with what I think. You guys just comment below. I'm just going to read this article because this one's really interesting. Why am I reading this? It's because it's affecting another country. And one day it will affect Canada. Mexicans are rioting because Trump is coming through on his promises. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! A president is coming through on his presidents. Elected official is coming through on his promises. Oh my God! It's never happened before. Trump breaks the first for everything. Look at this. Mexicans rioting because Trump is going through with his promises. Isn't that what elected officials are supposed to do? Wow, he's the first for everything. Trump won another debate too. He was the first man on earth to win an argument with a woman. That's a joke. Anyways, Mexicans are livid because President-elect Trump is keeping his promises he made on the campaign trail to American people, and Mexico is feeling the heat. So let's see what's going on down south of the border. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto, on Thursday, the Mexican government will raise the price of gas at the pump. Do you really think it's because of that, or is it their agenda to raise the price of the pump? You think Donald Trump is going to raise the price of the pump? I think they're using him as a pawn. Thursday, the Mexican government will raise the price of the pump. The latest in slew of bad news for the people of Mexico, as the country is heavily dependent on gas imports. Following the announcement of large numbers of Mexican citizens took to the street looting and rioting as news broke out as gas prices will rise as much as 20% on the weekend. That's huge. So I'll leave a link for this one. It's got photos of people looting the gas stations for gas and stuff. And there's another photo here of protesters erupted all over Mexico of skyrocketing gas prices. While many Mexicans are angry over the soaring gas prices, the most recent outburst is likely due to culmination of ills plaguing the nation. Corruption, historic homicide rates, why don't they look into that? Vibrant drug trafficking economy, and recent onslaught of attacks from President-elect Donald Trump. Attacks, sure. Trump presidential campaign that companies would pay for moving operations to overseas, and in particular to Mexico. Trump promises to build the wall along the U.S. shared border with Mexico, and to introduce stricter immigration and trade policies. All these promises have fostered a great deal of unrest in Mexico as the nation gears up for the incoming Trump administration. The fear among the Mexican people is unwarranted, since Trump is living up to his promise to be tough on multinational corporations. Trump went on Twitter tirade against General Motors Corporation for exporting car manufacturing to Mexico, after which Ford the next day that was canceling plans to build a $1.6 billion car manufacturing plant in Mexico. So he's saving it. Trump is saving jobs. He's keeping America afloat. Is it just me, or they're trying to make, or past administrations are trying to make the country, or the United States, a third world country? Because some of the plans that were implemented in the last 10 years are just ludicrous. 1.6, blah, 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 then that goes, last week Trump went after General Motors and Toyota. Here's a tweet here. Toyota Motors says, we'll build a new plant in Baja, Mexico, to build Corolla cars for the U.S. No way. Build plants in the U.S. or pay big border tax. Because the number one consumers that buy cars in the Americas is the United States, then Brazil, followed by Brazil. The most purchases of vehicles. The market is increasingly convinced Donald Trump wasn't kidding around about tackling Mexico and production in Mexico. Currency analyst and button told reporters. Mexico's outraged, not just at Donald Trump, but with their own presidents shortly after announcing that gas prices will raise significantly. Social media exploded with the policy recommendations for President Nieto, many of them showing their disgust for the current administration of the New York Times. Nieto's approval rating is below 25%. The Mexican president appears to be struggling to stroke national morale. Mexico voted in October to end the state's monopoly over the energy industry and allow gas prices to fluctuate based on the market forces and supply and demand. The country decided to stop subsidizing the energy sector. It hopes that the government will be able to allocate more of its discretionary funds towards social programs. You see, for many years, Mexico, all the times I visited and been in Mexico, I spent almost 2 years in Mexico. And it's beyond me how the country's, or how the country is labeled as a poor country. Because I've been around to lots of parts of Mexico. The infrastructure, the highways, the bridges are A1. I've been on some beautiful highways there in Mexico. I've been to a lot of beautiful cities, Walmarts, Costco's, big, thriving, developing metropolises. But there's something keeping its foot on Mexico's throat. Something is keeping it poor, or something's keeping it from advancing, you know. Mexico imports over half its gasoline from the U.S. The Trump's recent tirade against business with operations in Mexico sent the peso tumbling, making gas imports the much more burdensome. Sorry, guys. Presumably sparked by the prices increase and further fueled by outrage over Trump's recent comments, Mexicans begin rioting. Protesters stage marches and block traffic on major highways. While looting and criminal activity largely subsided by Sunday evening, protesters are still ongoing. I'll leave a link below to it. Let me know what you guys think about that. There's just so much of a cesspool of everything going on. There's so much coming in, information going out, connections going above, below, underwater. There's just so much going on everywhere. And the amount of bureaucracy that's involved, red tape that's involved, the amount of, like, nowadays, just, you know, trying to open a business, there's just so much red tape nowadays just to try to live off grid. You know how many people are trying to live off grid and collect solar power and this and that, and the governments are shutting them down? I'm going to do a story about that soon, because I have a friend. I'm going to try and get him on the show. He's in Arizona, and he's been arrested for living off grid. So I'm going to see if I can get him on the show here on my channel and see what he has to say about that, and you know, collecting solar power, doing his thing, and you know, and fishing and stuff, and living off grid, you know, with on some nice piece of land. I don't know. Let me know, man. Like I said, there's just so much. The thing is, and I'm going to be really frank with you guys, we only know, and we will only ever know 10% of what's going on in this world. And 10% is very conservative. 10% is very good if we know 10% of what's going on in the world. There's so much going on. I mean, if man knew even 50% of what's really going on in the world, they wouldn't sleep at night. Seriously, everyone would just quit their jobs. Everybody would quit their jobs and protest, and, you know, that's how, I think we're just not in tune of what's really going on. Because once you connect all the dots and see the big picture and look at it from afar, you're like, huh? Yeah. Anyways, comment below on that. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.